Hello, I'm out on my mostly everyday walk in Southern Oregon. Rainy, cool day. Not cold, but cold. Yeah, pretty cool. Here's a beautiful um, golf course right here. And I'm kind of taken aback how so many, you can tell how a minister, so-called minister, there's so many of them, are apostate or they're just phonies. Is if they're talking about God this, God that, Christ this, Christ that, like every other sentence practically, and yet they fail to see the obvious time we're in and the obvious about what's about to happen to take over the beast, the obvious things with the products that are put in the bodies that have taken over the world, that do make people trackable. I've proved that myself. Even it stays alive in the body even after the person's buried. Believe it or not, that's how evil this stuff has been made. It's unbelievable. It's not conspiracy, it's fact, because there's multiple people have shown that with videos of MAC addresses popping up on their phone in the cemetery, let alone plenty of videos showing where the people show up on Bluetooth like in a restaurant. So that's the main purpose of that, to whoever they didn't murder by it or fast or slow because it's causing a lot of turbo cancers, they make them trackable. It looks like it's the mark of the beast, actually, very much. But there may be a further worse one coming. And then they fail also to see that the Bible talks about the renewal of the mind from within. Be still and know, which is meaning, of course, your soul living in your body is still separate from all the swirl of thoughts in your head that the evil uses, imaginations, and they don't see the distinction between thoughts and our soul and intuition and thinking. And because of that, they don't see the obvious great evils of the times we're in. And because they're using the thinking to think good thoughts and talk about God this and prayer this, but it's, if you're using the thinking, that's the dark side, that's intellect. So then when it proposes doubts or wrong or mean things, then you're already connected to it because you were using it for supposed good things. You see, that's the way it works. So the idea is, and none of these churches that I know of did what Roy Masters did. And to see that like obvious connection, it's so easy to see too that thoughts are from the darkness. Whether even they play good cop, bad cop, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that. But yet they don't pick up on it. They a lot of them knew or know of Roy and his wonderful meditation exercise, which is totally Christian and biblical, and they just don't pick up on it because most of them are apostate, and they're using their intellect and they're teaching people the history of the Bible and this and that, but they're not really helping people be free of sin, because if you don't get free of your thought, the subconscious darkness of subconscious, that little slithery thing that talks to us constantly, it tries to impress upon us daily. If they don't recognize that and help people with that, they're not really, they're just a shell. They're a shell of the true Christians in the early days, and a shell of what true Christians now live by intuition, the wordless light, seeing that the imposition of thoughts and words in our head, trying to steal the insights, which are just like a flash. That's all darkness, demonic. And Unfortunately, my former church Foundation of Human Understanding, Roy Masters, former wonderful type of church, not regular church, is taken over by his son and Jan, and they're like artificial too. Jan is like trying to sound like the real deep savant. She's got it, and she's more deep than Alan. It's the same old woman competing with the man. It's just taken a very different tact with that, but they're not aware of it, and if you listen to them, this morning I was listening a little bit, and they were talking about, we got to find a way to let go, of any anger of people who owe you money. You got to find a way. Well, what do you mean find a way? I mean, that way, you don't have, it's right there. Roy Masters taught it for 50 years. You just separate from thoughts. That's all. Simple as that. You just let them blather. You let any revenge ideas, you watch them, and then they'll disappear. And then they come back, and then you watch them disappear. That's a renewal of your mind from within. But so I know they talk around it all, and Jan tries to sound all so deep, much deeper than Alan, but she's not, because neither of them recognize the beast that's faked the assassination clearly, very provably. I've more than proved that with other people's info on links on some videos I've done. I can put more links in this one. It's really clear. It's like not, and they can't see that, and they think that he's gonna help save America and blah blah blah. And Alan can't even see that Zelensky is obviously a brave Jewish man. Like, clearly they're fighting for their lives, and Alan just blathers Russian propaganda, and then never bothers to correct it, even if I texted him the truth. They have whole teams, rooms full of people influencing the right and making crap up. And people like Alan are so gullible to the right because they don't see from their intuition. It's the intellect that they think. It's the false conscience. So they're very susceptible to that. And so is Jan. And it's too bad. It's too bad. They're disgracing the foundation from their lack of understanding and their phoniness. But maybe one day they will see that, when they're done judging people like me and blocking us. And when it all starts to more develop quickly, they'll say, oh my gosh, that Fabian saw it right. But anyway, a lot of people are going to wake up, I'm sure, because the two witnesses are coming very soon. In 2025 looks like March, and things are going to be more clear. But yet the beast will try to make it muddy, and it's just really, really fascinating time we're in. It's amazing. And I hope everybody is practicing that Roy Masters meditation just to be a godly person, not for any other reason. And then standing up to friends when they're wrong, standing up to anybody when it's clearly shown that you should or disagree, politely, and facing that, and losing approval. Because a lot of people, I don't know about a lot of people, but people that I've seen around locally from the foundation were kind of more like people that were, kind of really weak, like me, but I got help, and then I didn't attach to myself to Roy. But these people, they seem, I know a lot of them, they seem like they just get some kind of comfort of being part of a team, the foundation now, but they're not really bold people. They don't really, they'll stand up to the left, but they won't stand up to the right, in the Trump issue. They won't do it because they'll have to stand out like sore thumb, like me, and then be judged as though they are judging from righteousness, but they're not. Anyway, God bless you, and have a good one.